This video will be for adding fixtures to a competition element in a pre-existing competition. So this is specifically for those instances where you had made a competition, we have added a parent competition in for you, and now it's came to the point where the cards are going to be reset. So most likely, whether it's in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, any points where the cards are reset, you're going to be using a competition element to add these fixtures. So in order to do this, the first thing you've got to do is open the competition itself that you've been working off and that have all the previous rounds in it. So in this case, I'll navigate to here. You can see so far I've got 6 rounds in this competition. These ones aren't actually played, but for example, this might be the point in the competition where the semi-final is next. You can see here I've got all my clubs listed initially, and if I click on this button in the top left hand side, I can open the competition in full. And what this will do, as you'll see from the top left hand corner, I've got the parent competition open, and this is what we have added, and that's essentially then allowed us to have different elements within one big parent competition. So it's allowed us to sort of split up the competition into many parts that can have different settings for each element. So in this instance, I've already got another element added, but I can just, whether there's only one here or multiple here, it's the same process. In order to add a new element, I click add. I then will be greeted with the same sort of page that you'll be used to when creating any competition. So I can change the name here if I want. It might even help you to label the competition elements. That's no problem at all. Semi-final onwards, for example. In this case, we're using a semi-final example, so there's only 4 teams left. And then I can continue using the system that I was using before, or indeed if I want to change it. For example, you may have been doing predefined before and uploading a spreadsheet. Now there's only 4 teams, you might find it easier to do manual. So that's no problem either way. Because this is the point of the competition where the yellow cards are reset, I can navigate to the disciplinary settings here, and you'll see there's this setting right here called Reset Accumulated Cards. And if I just tick that, it means any fixtures within this element will have the yellow cards reset from what came before it. So I'll click save. Then as you can see, it's just like a mini competition here. I need to enter those teams that are playing in these semi-final matches. So if I click add, so I'll go ahead and add 4 random test teams. You will obviously know these based off the last fixtures of who's in that semi-final round. Once that's done, the 4 teams are added. It's just a case of continuing and adding those fixtures as you would, but this time it's in a new element. So for the sake of the example, I'll go ahead and add those semi-final fixtures. In this case, as I said, I'm using a manual system, so I'll add them manually. Don't have to label the match day as semi-final, it's just a personal preference. I like it sort of seeing it there, and it keeps me right. Now both of those matches are in status of entered. You can obviously go ahead and add the dates, times of the matches, the stadiums of the matches, as you would. Hopefully you can see that it's the exact same process to add the next fixtures. It's just the first step there of adding this element here. If I click on the competition settings, I can see that there's a parent competition labelled at the top, and if I click onto that, it will take me to the parent competition with all the elements listed below. So I've got my semi-final here, and I can go back and look at the previous fixtures within these elements here. Hopefully that's explained the process a wee bit easier.